Okay, when I put these slides together yesterday afternoon, they're a whole lot more boring than anybody else's. But, hey, I'm a lawyer. I'm supposed to be boring. So it shouldn't be a problem. There are two ways to get money out of your business. Either do an IPO or sell it. And IPOs are pretty doggone rare. So the reality is you're going to sell your business. So when are you going to want to sell it? When you can get value out. That's really the key. Can you demonstrate earnings so that you can get value out? I believe the time is gone when you're going to sell a business that loses money. And believe that you'll be the next Amazon that may return. It's not now. Some of us are innovators. Some of us grow businesses. Some of us operate them. If you're an innovator, maybe you want to be thinking about going on to the next thing and let somebody else do it. Where do I find my buyer? You probably already know them. It's probably your customer who wants to integrate vertically, or a supplier who wants to expand the value chain, or a competitor who wants your market share. You may also be willing to, or want to sell to an existing equity holder. You may have a buy-sell agreement that gives you an opportunity to get out in a predetermined fashion. All of those ways are the way you find your buyers. So how do I set the price? Well, it's really what the second last bullet is. What will somebody pay for it? You can use all of the valuation methods that the experts come up with, but if nobody's willing to pay that, it doesn't matter. Set the right anchor. If you set it too high, you're going to chase people away. If you set it too low, you're leaving money on the table. And how do you maximize the price? It's with any other negotiation, whatever your BATNA is. If you have alternatives to doing that deal, you've got negotiating power. Doesn't matter how big you are or how big the other side is. If your BATNA is better than somebody else's, you're going to do a better deal. Now, do you want to sell equity or do you want to sell assets? Taxes are going to drive that. Talk to your tax advisor. The taxes are going to make more of a difference than anywhere else. Do I need to wash assets through bankruptcy? Buyers really like to buy troubled businesses through bankruptcy. But you got to be aware, if you've got a personal guarantee, you may end up with neither the company nor the money. What do you want to get for it? Cash, credit, or equity? If you're going to take credit, make sure that there's an ability to pay, and they're not just living off the cash flow of the business. We sold a business a year ago for credit, took a security interest, the buyer drove it into the ground, we foreclosed on the security. Really not a good situation. You'll put together an offering memorandum, disclose everything. You want to, the buyer wants to see everything. Make sure you get a non-disclosure agreement. We used to do a data room for big companies. It's all done electronically now. Collect all of that data that we're talking about there. They want to see everything. The more you show them up front, the shorter your time between agreement and closing will be. Truth always percolates to the surface. So if you think that you can sell something without disclosing the ugly warts, you're wrong. The truth will find its way to the surface, and it'll be at the worst possible time. It will either disrupt the deal, or you'll end up with a lawsuit. I'm not a big fan of somebody continuing to work for a business after you've sold it. If you think that's a good idea, get a good contract with a good severance benefit, because you're going to get fired. Price is usually the first thing agreed upon, and it's really the only good variable for agreeing on the other terms. So if you agree on price, make sure that it's tentative, so that it's adjustable as other things happen. You're going to have an agreement that's going to warrant everything. You're going to warrant that the assets are what they are, that there's none of the bad stuff. It's going to be in there, and it's going to be pages and pages and pages of that. One that is a particular bugaboo is securities problems. I put this in here so that when you raise money, you do it right. If you think that you can go raise money from friends and family without complying with the state and federal securities laws, you're wrong. You're going to get bit when it comes time to sell. The buyer warrants this. I mean, that's all. That they have authority to do the deal. So it's very asymmetric when you do this. you'll close usually a month or so after you agree on the transaction. Sometimes you have a simultaneous signing and closing. If you have a Hart-Scott-Rodino problem, which is a really good problem because that means that your buyer and seller are big and there's a lot of money involved, then it takes longer. And then figure out what you're going to go do next. But remember, you're going to have a non-disclosure agreement, you're going to have a non-competition agreement, and a non-solicitation agreement. Okay, questions?